On January 22nd, 2025, TechNation made some serious updates to the Global Talent Visa guidelines. Since then, rejections have gone up. Not because people aren't talented anymore, but because they don't fully understand the new rules. That's why I've decided to help with this video from a personal standpoint. If you're a talented person in tech, you're a builder, you're a tech lead, you're into cybersecurity, you're a recruiter, you're an analyst, marketer, founder, or even content or growth lead, and you're dreaming of relocating to the United Kingdom without needing a job offer or relocation agents, this is the clearest guide you'll find online. I'm Isaac. I moved to the UK through this same global talent route, and since then I've helped others from Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, the US, and the likes get endorsed and move successfully. This video is my own way of simplifying the new 2025 rules so that you can do it all by yourself confidently and correctly. So let's get into it. First, what is the UK Global Talent Visa? This visa isn't for everyone, it's for people making real impacts in tech. While that is true, irrespective of your current level, as long as you've done good work in tech and you can show evidence of what you've done, you actually may qualify to apply. So do not second guess yourself. The UK Global Talent Visa is a UK immigration route that lets people in digital technology to live and work in the United Kingdom without needing sponsorship or a job offer. What does that mean? It simply means that you can live freely in the UK, you can work for any company without sponsorship. It also means that you can bring your partner and your children along, irrespective of how many children you have. As long as this is your immediate family, you can bring them with you to the UK to live, to work legally. It also means you can switch jobs as much as you want. You simply have the freedom to work for any company at any time. You can also start your own startup. You can start your own company. It's one of the most flexible routes to actually live your dreams in the United Kingdom. And also, you can apply for permanent residency within 3 years. That is if you get endorsed as an exceptional talent. I can go on and on about the benefits of the Global Talent Visa, but it is absolutely priceless. Now, it has 2 tracks. There's the exceptional talent track, which is for people who are already recognized as leaders in the field of technology. For instance, if you've led hiring, you've led growth, you've led the development of powerful products, you've led operations in a fast-growing tech company, and you have over 5 years of strong experience with visible, clear results, then you can apply for exceptional talent. The second track is the exceptional promise, which is for rising stars or rising leaders in tech. So maybe you've launched projects, you've mentored others, and you've made real impacts, but you're still fairly young in your career, then you can apply for exceptional promise. The key thing I want to stress is that it's not just for software engineers or developers who can code. It's also for any kind of talent that works in tech, particularly product-led technology. What does product-led mean? It means if you've worked for a tech company that has a major product, and that product is the main driver of the company's revenue, the company's growth, that is a product-led tech company. Examples include companies like Flutterwave, Paystack, AfriLearn, Piggyvest, any company that has a product and that product is the main driver of the company's growth and revenue. That's a product-led tech company. So if you've worked in that kind of organization or company or startup and you have evidence of the work that you have done, right, and those evidence are quite solid, you don't have to have 10 years experience. If you have 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, even 2 years. I have supported someone who even has less than 2 years experience, but their evidence were solid. A young lady who is a software developer, and she got it. Of course, she applied for exceptional promise. I've also supported people who have 4 years, barely 5 years in tech, who have gotten endorsed as exceptional talents. So it really depends on the kind of work you have done, the kind of impacts that you have made. As long as you have evidence of those work, you actually can apply for the UK Global Talent Visa. There are 2 stages to this thing. The first stage is the stage where you apply for endorsement through the TechNation. Once your endorsement is successful, then you simply take your endorsement letter and then you apply for your visa at the Home Office. It's as simple as that. If you need details for the second stage after you've gotten your endorsement, I have a video on this channel. Just go through that video and you have all the details about how to apply for stage 2. So what do you need to apply? There are 4 major things you need to apply for your endorsements with TechNation before you then apply for your visa. First is your personal statement. Now, this is your story. In this personal statement, which should not be more than 1,000 words, you have to explain your journey so far. How did you grow up? What did you study in school? Why did you study it? How did you get into tech? Talk about your work in tech, why you want to come to the UK, and how you contribute to the UK's tech sector. The second part of the document you need are your recommendation letters. So here you need 3 recommendation letters from tech leaders, those who have known you for at least over 12 months, that's 1 year in the tech space. They have to be written by respected tech leaders who know your work and who believe in your potential, who can speak to the things that you've done. So we've said that the first thing you need is your personal statements, 1,000 words sharing your story. The second one are your recommendation letters, 3 recommendation letters from 3 well-meaning leaders in tech. The third set of documents you need are then your 10 pieces of evidence. These are your receipts, they are your proof, visible proof. These are documents that should show your achievements, your leadership, your impacts, and your contributions in this field of technology. Then fourth, you need your CV. Your CV should be result and outcome based. It should not just be about your job descriptions. Of all these documents, each piece must not be more than 3 pages and should not exceed 1,000 words. For your pieces of evidence, ensure to make everything as clear as possible, make it as visual as possible, and make it very easy to understand. Also, make everything matched to the right criteria. The clearer your application document, the easier it is for your assessor and the higher your chances of success. Under your piece of evidence, you will choose 2 criteria. There's the mandatory criteria and there's the optional criteria. Here's how the criteria works. You will pick 1 mandatory criteria and show 2 pieces of evidence for it. Then you will pick 2 optional criteria and show 2 pieces of evidence for each of these 2. Altogether, that will make 6 pieces down, right? The remaining 4 can support or deepen your story. You can use them to back up anything else you want to show off. Just make sure all 10 are strong, unique, and relevant. Now, let's go into the step-by-step process. First, pick your routes. Ask yourself, are you already a leader in tech with big achievements? If the answer is yes, now big achievements means that you've spoken at high-tech events, you've won major awards, you've built massive products that have large user base, you've done innovative stuff in the space. If that sounds like you, then you can go for exceptional talents. However, if you're still fairly early in your career, but you already are showing signs of future leadership, then you should go for exceptional promise. There's no difference to these 2 routes, except the fact that one takes you 3 years to get your ILR and one takes you 5 years to get your ILR. It's as simple as that. Now, even if you're applying on that promise, your evidence must still show clear impact. Step 2, choose your criteria. Let's break it down. First is mandatory criteria. Mandatory criteria speaks to recognition as a leader. It is non-negotiable. You must prove that you've been recognized as a leader or a future leader in the digital technology sector in the past 5 years. Under the mandatory criteria, some of the evidence that work could include speaking at major tech events. These are events that shouldn't be sponsored by your company. They should be external events where they invited you to speak and you delivered value and you have proof for all of these things. Proof can be invitation letters, pictures, videos from that particular event. The other thing you can use are press features in respected publications. These include major tech publications, like TechCrunch. From Nigeria, you have TechPoint, TechCabal, and of course other national newspapers as well, like Punch newspaper, like Vanguard. Next is if you've led a team, a product, or a community with significant results. So if you've led a team to build major products that have become successful and you have proof of these things, those can also be used as evidence for the mandatory criteria. Next up are awards or major external recognition. So if you've been awarded in tech for something you did or for an innovative product you put out, whatever it is, awards are also powerful as long as they are coming from highly credible sources. If you earn high salary, it can also be used. However, these days, based on the updates that was done January 22nd by Tech Nation, high salaries alone are not enough. So you have to show proof of the impacts that you've delivered despite the high salary. It's also important to note that anything made just to fit the visa timing might be seen as packaging, and that might lead to rejection. Now let's move to optional criteria. For optional criteria, you have 4 options. You have to select 2. If I were you and I'm selecting 2 options from 4, I'll go for the 2 options where I can score the highest points, meaning that which are the 2 options that you have the most and the best evidence to back up. The first optional criteria is innovation. Have you done anything new or different that changed how your team or company works, or even your industry works? That's innovation. As an employee or a founder, if you've introduced a process that drove efficiency or scale, innovation is about either creating something new or significantly improving something that currently exists. So if you've done that in your company with a product, with your team, or with an idea and you have proof to show for it, then you can select innovation. Just remember, you need to show outcomes and not just ideas. Optional criteria 2 speaks to community impact. Have you contributed to the tech ecosystem outside of your job? Here you can use mentoring, but you have to be a structured in-person mentorship. If you've taught others or you are teaching others how to break into tech and you have evidence of people who have done it successfully because of your teachings, or if you've spoken at industry conferences, these can be used for this particular criteria. I must also add that in the 2025 rule, online-only mentorship platforms like ADP lists don't count anymore. Optional criteria 3, significant contributions. This is about business or technical results. Did you lead recruitment that helped a startup to scale? Did you launch a product that grew revenue substantially? Did you write code that shaped a product success? If you answered yes to any of those questions or all of them, then this is your category. You want to choose this particular category. And remember, you need to show your personal inputs, not just company level results. Finally, optional criteria 4, academic contributions. This is for those who have done research in tech. It must be peer reviewed or endorsed by experts. Now that we've covered pieces of evidences, let's move to personal statement. How do you write your personal statement? If you want a detailed video on this, I have a video that is strictly dedicated towards writing strong and successful personal statements on this channel. Check the video description and I'll drop that link there as well. The personal statement is where your voice comes in. It's your chance to speak to the assessors, human to human. And one thing I always stress is use storytelling. Don't write like you're writing an academic paper. Tell the story of your journey from one company to another, the product you built at each company, and then answer those 4 questions. Why are you applying for the Global Talent Visa? What is your planned occupation? Which city are you going to stay in? And how will UK benefit from your coming to the UK? You want to let this sound exactly like you. Show your journey, show your pain, show your growth. Make it so human that the reader feels like they know you. Make them feel so inspired, like, man, if you do not endorse this guy or this lady, the UK is going to be losing a massive talent. That's the kind of vibe you want to have in your personal statement. No robotic language, no big grammar, no AI texts, just real raw story coming from you. Next up is recommendation letters. You need strong recommendation letters from 3 senior leaders in tech who have known your work for at least 12 months or more. Each one must tell a different story about your achievements. In those letters, they want to share how you contribute to the UK, how they've known you, the work you've done. They want to speak to your character, your competence. Now, this letter has to be very powerful. It has to be very detailed. It has to be very solid. It has to carry weight. Every single sentence must carry power, must speak to your talents, must speak to your skill sets. It must speak to your impacts. It must speak to your results. These letters must be signed, they must be dated, and they must include the contact info and credentials of your recommenders. They have to include their phone numbers, their email addresses. You can't use friends, you can't use family, and you can't use random ex-colleagues. They have to be people who are like leaders, mentors in the industry. So think of your application like a Netflix documentary. Your personal statements is like the trailer, right? Your letters are like the expert's commentary, and your pieces of evidence, that's the footage that proves the whole thing that you've done so far. Finally, let's speak to the changes that TechNation made earlier this year. Now, what has changed? First, you must now submit 2 pieces of evidence for each criteria. Then mentorship must now be in a structured way, a structured environment, preferably in person. Also, talks or workshops that are paid for by your company will no longer count. Big salary alone is no longer enough proof. You must tie it to tangible impacts. And then no use of AI tools like ChatGPT for your personal statement or your letters. They want you to show proof of what you've done by yourself. And if they suspect AI use or fake evidence, your entire application could be rejected. So my strong advice, do it properly, do it the right way. Finally, this visa isn't about titles and it's not about who you know. It's about the work that you've done. It's about the proof that you can show. If you've made real impact in tech, you can apply and get endorsed by yourself. If you also want my personal support in reviewing your statements, checking your letters, or planning your evidence, simply click the link in the description and reach out. If this video was valuable to you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Someone in your tech circle might just really need this more than you know.